okay, so I responded with yes to not add or take away, and I was asking you, why are you doing that? And then this was your response to what I said. How am I doing that? By following his laws and commands. Okay, if you're really following his laws and commands on about feasting, why, and this is what I've been asking you, have not answered me, why are you ignoring his instructions like Deuteronomy 12 and 16, where it talks about how you're supposed to do it in the land? Why are you ignoring Exodus 12:25? That's also about the land. And in Exodus 13:10 about the day. Why are you ignoring Jubilees 6:33-38 about those who basically, if you start walking according to the feast of the Gentiles, so Christmas, Easter, and stuff like that, the signs will be, not even signs, sorry, the times will basically be disturbed. And then there's going to be people who notice that it's going to be coming, I think it's like something with the calendar, how it'll be 10 days too soon, I don't know, but if you go read it, you'll see it. Why ignoring Jubilees 49, which is basically what Deuteronomy 12 and 16 say, and it mentions more than once about the land and day in that chapter. Like, if you're really heeding his instructions, his precepts on how to keep the feast and stuff like that, why are you not talking about that? Why are we not heeding that? Because the only instruction or precept you've been focusing on is, oh, it says forever, and it's in the commandments, okay? But what about those ones? That's what I want to know. Why are you not thinking about the ones that talk about in the land on the day? Like, where did those instructions become void? Where? When? Like, that hasn't happened. So, I don't know, it's just like, okay, I could say the same thing to you about reading to understand and not respond, because when I'm asking you to read those scriptures, it doesn't seem like you are, because you keep saying the feast are forever. But like, it's like, why are you ignoring his instructions? Why are you ignoring those instructions on how to actually keep the feast? And I'll give some testimony right now, because a lot of people, they say similar stuff about, don't let man interpret it for you, but it's not man. And I know that because me and my family, and this is now my testimony, me and my family did the feast for a few years. We did it outside, the land, probably did it on the wrong day as well, because we woke up from being Catholic, and I was more like Catholic agnostic, and they were more Catholic and things like that. And we went from that straight into Messianic Judaism. So we had no idea what we were doing. Okay, so we woke up to the feast, to the Sabbath, to all the commandments, eating clean, no holidays, all this stuff. We let go of the pagan holidays cold turkey. And we also let go of eating abominations, pretty cold turkey as well. I can't say it was perfect, because honestly I think there was times along the way I did mess up and didn't realize it until after. It's like, oh shoot, wait, yeah, that's pork, I can't have that anymore. So it definitely, I could say for me it took a bit, but I do know I definitely wasn't doing it on purpose. But anyways, so we woke up to all that stuff, and it took some time. I remember the first year for me, I can say I did it out of covetousness. The second year, I genuinely did enjoy doing the feast. But even then, it always felt like, I was just going with what my parents were doing. It always felt off. I just never understood why or how. And my family, my mom and my dad, they were literally sitting there. They were like, how can we, is this even the right day? Like, they had questions that were not of themselves. Like, questioning, is this the right day? Are we doing it right? Or, because it says to do this, but then these people are doing this. But then these people are saying happy Passover this week, but I just did Passover last week. So who's right? They had questions. They were confused, and they were like, how do I do this? How do I serve the Father? And things like that. And it wasn't until 2023 went together as a family. We read the scriptures. We read Deuteronomy 12 and I believe 16, and there was other stuff like in the New Testament we read. I can't remember. I wish I could, but this was all the way back then. And when we read it, he let us see together, eye to eye, as a family, we cannot feast in captivity. It says in the land per his instructions. And I remember even the next day, I was like, does it really say that though? Like, is that really how the feast play? I don't know. I need to read this again to make sure, because I didn't want to be presumptuous. I read the scriptures again, and it was confirmed even more. Oh shoot, we gotta keep the feast in the land and on the day and all this stuff. So I can say for myself, I can say for my family, that it was truly the Father who opened up our eyes to this. Now there was brothers and sisters who were sharing about the scriptures. There was one brother in particular, but we didn't just believe him. We didn't just be like, oh, he said it, so we're good to go. We're gonna go off what he's saying, ignore the Father's instructions. No, we were Bereans and we dug into the scriptures ourselves. We're like, okay, like, please show us your truth, because guess what? We've always been hungry for his truth, and we always want just his truth and nothing but his truth, irregardless of what men says, because it's not about what men say, it's about what his word says, for his word's truth. So, and we did that as a family, and he, praise Yah, showed us. So I hope he does the same for you if you read the scriptures that I've left for you, because I can only reiterate so much, but you have to actually look into it yourself. So I hope my testimony does something. I hope that makes it clear that it was the Father, not of myself, that he let us see we're not to feast in captivity.